Why are there two bands named L.A. Guns right now?
In a nutshell, because
we're all trapped in this little nut and we need a nutcracker to get us out. That's why.
That's why. No, we started the band in like 1985, and like by the time we
Paul
did
and
the
Tracy
deal,
started the band. Paul and Tracy.
Yeah, me and Tracy started the band in like 1985. And right when we did the record deal, the record label kind of broke up the original band and started a chain reaction of a lot of revolving members in and out of L.A. Guns over the last 20 years. So over the course of a period of time, there's been other members that have been spent time in L.A. Guns, like quite a bit of time, like the singer that replaced me. And now, until finally everybody was replaced, and there was another band that was playing out as L.A. Guns. And then me and Tracy put the original band back together, and then all of a sudden we had two bands, the original guys and the replacement players. And everybody feels they're entitled to the right to use the name, so it just keeps going for right now.
For right now, it's gonna go away eventually.
So have either of you guys listened to the L.A. Guns album Tales from the Strip?
I've heard it.
What did you think about it?
It's alright. There's a couple songs on there. I don't know. I think the one song that I do like on there, they didn't even write. John Nielsen wrote it. I think that's the only song I like. But, you know, whatever. To me, it doesn't really sound like L.A. Guns. Not the guitar tone, not, you know, just sounds like another rock record.
Right.
But the one song is pretty good. I like it.
I think they could have taken some more risks. I think they really kind of promoted it as an album where they stuck to what they know, and they didn't expand or do anything new that L.A. Guns hasn't done before. It wasn't bad. It wasn't, but it wasn't like a knockout. There wasn't anything new about it. So to me, it was a little boring, a little scary. I feel like I'm in a weird position. I don't want to be putting the band down because then it makes me sound bitter.
Paul doesn't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Seriously, Paul does not give a fuck about Phil Lewis. He is the last person that Paul Black ever thinks about. He does not give a fuck about that guy. We'd make fun of Paul all the time, fucking Phil jokes to him all the time, and nothing ever even phases him. He's just like, whatever.
And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of humor, a lot of joking around. It's just, you know, that's what we like to do with this band, because everybody's kind of, you know, what I don't like.
There's no negativity in this band whatsoever.
I don't like bands that take themselves seriously and get up and go, worship me, I'm a rock star. Fuck that shit. I don't, you know, it's
Paul doesn't care. He
we're
does
musicians. We get up there. We have a job to do.
Paul's like, yeah.
When did you guys first meet? Did you meet when you guys both joined the band?
Studio.
About a year and a half ago when we put the band back together.
Yep.
Really?
And since then we've been to Europe 3 times. We've been to South America. We've been to Korea. We've been everywhere. We've been all around the world.
A lot of pot around the world.
Really, it's just been one big adventure. We've traveled all over the world together. We've seen everything.
We sit there and we're like, hey Paul, did you think like you'd ever be like sitting on the top of this rock in Greece?
Yeah.
With me? With me? Like, come on. Paul's half my, you know, I'm half Paul's age or whatever.
A year ago, I never would have thought.
Do you guys have a new studio album in the works?
Yes, we do. It's not called anything yet. Actually, it might be. I don't know. We're gonna do it in Canada. We're recording in Canada. We just signed with the new label, Alexis Records.
Hey, y'all sound great.
Thanks, man. See you next time. They just purchased us that beautiful RV you see parked out back. It's ours now, and they're gonna put out a record with us. We're gonna go up to Canada for about 2 months to write and record, and it should be out either late September or early October, and followed by a full-on world tour.
And it's going to be, when you hear the record, it's not going to be anything you expect from L.A. Guns. It's going to be something brand new. It's going to be reinvented.
So new.
L.A. Guns. It's, you know, it's not going to be the same old shit that we've done for 20 years. It's going to be brand new, completely redone. It's going to be, what do you call it?
I don't know.
Remodeled L.A. Guns or something like that.
Renovated.
Renovated.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
The new improved, renovated L.A. Guns.
You know, and whatever. Look, it could go down like one day, you know, Tracy could get a call, and the next thing, the fucking original band could be back together, or what? Not the original band, but whatever, the band that made it as L.A. Guns.
The commercial or whatever.
It could happen, and if it happens, I don't give a fuck. I've had a great time. I've been around the world, you know, experienced some good things, some bad things, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, so I don't really give a fuck either. And you know, I'm just gonna keep going with it, and you know, trying to live up to the LA Gun standards.
Yep.
I heard a rumor that Phil Lewis joined you guys on stage during the Cat House 20th anniversary
Yes, he
celebration.
did. Oh, I changed my shirt. I'm wearing a Def Leppard t-shirt now.
You did join us. I would talk about that, Paul. That was fucking weird, huh? We threw that on you at the last minute. Hey, Paul, Phil's gonna sing with us.
And
I said no at first.
Paul said, "Fuck no, man. What the fuck are you talking about?"
I would actually have no. Anyway,
Laredo, you got him.
so I told Tracy, I said, no, not unless we can clear the air and, you know, talk first. I said, you know, if he can apologize to me, fine, you know, but then there was no time for that. So I said, okay, fine, well, I'll talk to Phil afterwards, but let me introduce him. And I introduced him, I gave him a great introduction. I said, we have a friend coming up, because me and Phil had always been cordial all over the year, through the years, until I rejoined the band, and then he got jealous, I guess, and started, like, talking much shit about me. So I gave him an introduction. I said, ladies and gentlemen, you know, whatever. I said,
you
my
were
co-writer. Yeah, I forgot what I said, but I said something really nice. I introduced him as a co-author with me on songs like Sex Action, and even though that was my song, I gave him credit.
kind of rewrote it, right?
Yeah, without my permission. So it's copyright infringement, and I sued him, but we resolved it. And so I got
feel clean.
for the first time I acknowledged him as a co-writer.
Well, that's beautiful.
Which was a generous thing for me to do. And then so he came up and sang, and then afterwards went right back out and started doing interviews and talking shit about me again. And a friend of mine went up to him and asked, you know, said, that was really cool of you to get up and talk like that. And he said, well, it was being filmed for VH1. I said, why else would I do it?
Whatever.
But whatever.
He looked like Tony Iommi that night.
Oh yeah, he had a mustache.
Could you tell us a little bit about Black City Records?
Yeah, it's a label that I put together to put some of my music out, just some demos and stuff. And I originally put a band I had called Sonic Boom on Black City Records with the guitar player from Dogs to More, Joe Dog, Almeida. And we wrote some really great songs, kind of along the lines of Rolling Stones, Faces kind of vibe. We had this lineup together that just kind of fell apart. We did a bunch of recordings. After we were done with the band, we had all these recordings left over, and we decided, well, let's put them out. They sound pretty good. We'll put them out. We got some really good reviews. And then I ran into Tracy about 5 years ago, and he started talking to me about putting the old demos out for LA Guns. He said we should do something with those songs, you know. And we were originally going to do it with Cleopatra. That contract didn't get worked out, and then we shopped it around to Triple X and a few other labels, and finally I just decided to stick it on my own label and stick it out there, see what happens to it. And it got some good reviews, and it sparked up a lot of interest in the band again, and it was kind of the spark that ignited the fire that got this band back together.
Some of the roots of LA Guns lie in the punk and thrash scenes, such as the Mau Mau's, the Joneses, etc. Bands like TSOL even made a similar transition back in the day. How did LA bands like LA Guns make such a radical musical transition?
I think, as far as you're asking about the transition, there was a really cool punk scene in the early '80s in LA, and I was playing in the Mau Mau's, which was a kind of a cross between New York Dolls and Sex Pistols, and they were a big band, but we could never get a record out or done because
They were shooting up too much heroin.
we were too strung out. Every time we got involved with a label, we had Robbie Krieger from The Doors producing us. We actually have a record recorded that never got released, but it just could not get off the ground because we were too drugged up. So me and the bass player left and joined the Joneses. And the Joneses were kind of on the punk edge, but more rock and roll. We were doing like Aerosmith covers and riding along that line. It was a mix of like, it was real trashy, real dirty, trashy, sleazy rock, and kind of borderline punk, but really more towards rock and roll, like Aerosmith, New York Dolls, Ramones, and a little bit of country mixed in even. And we started growing our hair long, scarves and stuff, but that band, the Joneses, was kind of the bridge between punk rock and what became the early, like the mid-'80s LA glam